I'm going to rewrite the text for the RFA. I'm going to, right now, I've mostly written it from the point of view of a victim, and that was important because I can see a lot from that perspective. But I really want to paint whatever judge ends up with it, and whoever decides who gets to be the judge. And I'm going to make sure I include, first thing off the top, the judges. I believe the judges are under investigation too. That's why the police really wanted me to attend that hearing. They didn't understand I wasn't going to go in there and let them do a fishing expedition. I wasn't going to go in there and share information with suspects, information that's part of a sealed child sex trafficking and murder investigation. And they are child sex traffickers, whether they've ever pimped kids out to predators or not. They're covering for Epstein's partners in crime. And they're helping Bondi and Gnomes, the pervert Gnomes, famous now for their sexual misconduct as director of Homeland Security, cover for all of Epstein's crimes and all of the oligarchs who used him and used him to run these honeypot, whether it was with adults or kids or whatever, and they're covering for those people, so they're going to get charged. Burl, the Catons, they're going to get charged with that shit too, on top of treason and other shit, because they're doing it on behalf of Israel. Alan Dershowitz and Netanyahu. And God knows who else. But anyway, my point is I'm going to rewrite it from the perspective, and I've got to go hard on the military aspect. I've got to focus more on how these military elite are teaching complete idiots very sophisticated interrogation techniques like mimicry to try to permeate me and my support group of advocates, but not teaching them how to respond when they're suspects. Because basically what it proves is that Weinberger and Piper didn't go to Mr. Caton and say, we have a suspected terrorist, we believe her father's a child molester and we believe she's a molester. No. The way they responded when I outed them as pretending to be victims, the fact that they were pretending to be victims advocates of Sarah George's office and agents of Bernie Sanders, under no circumstances is that appropriate ever. But when I called them out on it and they got all defensive, Burl never has spoken to me to my face since. She's supposed to be my best friend. And when you're best friends with somebody, if they accuse you of something you didn't do, you say, hey, you go to them directly and say, hey, what's going on? I don't understand. What makes you think? No, the bitch argued with me on fucking social media posts. She hasn't texted me either. Neither has Autumn. Which means they were never truly advocates. That means they knew from the get-go that what they were doing was criminal and illegal as fuck. And they have knowingly, enthusiastically used sophisticated, not that they used it in a sophisticated manner, because I saw right through it immediately. I knew they were no good before they ever opened their mouths. Ain't that many damn coincidences of them on the bus and at the train and at the bus station and everywhere else in the fucking world. So I'm going to stress to the judge that not only does she need to notify Sarah George, and I'll put in the statement that basically I'm just going to print out the emails that I've sent to Sarah George's victims advocates and say they're not the, I mean, you need to notify, not only do you need to notify them that these people are impersonating victims advocates and launch an investigation into who told them to do that to your court, you need to understand that the people who had them run a sham on your court are military. So you need to contact whoever you need to contact. What I don't know what, this is some shit nobody could ever dream of. So I have no clue who that judge is mandated to contact in the military to let them know that military elite and regular enlisted military like Mr. Caton are teaching sophisticated counterterrorism interrogation techniques to civilians who are knowingly abusing those military tactics to obstruct the Epstein investigation and cover for the drug trafficking, the child trafficking. They've committed murders. So JAG needs to be officially contacted, whether the Vermont judiciary, somebody at the judiciary level does that. Does Sarah George do that? Does the Attorney General do that? And I will let them know that JAG is absolutely investigating. I'm not going to say how I know, I just know. And it's retaliation against my military father, who has been assisting honest members of JAG and other counterterrorism since the Kennedy's assassination. And I'm going to mention that Whitney Webb's recent books connect the same criminal organization that used Epstein assassinated the Kennedys. So it's connected. It's all the same people, and there's new generations. These oligarchs recruit their kids. I mean, the kids have to jump in and commit the crimes, or they lose their fortunes. They lose their white privileges. They're white supremacists, just like Chad Cronin, too. And the two new ones they hired, the LGBT couple that started hanging out at McDonald's, as soon as I posted about it, ain't seen them since. Oh, they texted me, oh, well, we're just not in to cover their ass to make it look like they weren't responding in a guilty manner. And I think they may have a new one. And then just coincidentally, their snitch Jim and a kid named Corey, both of them, I guess, are staying at Paul Dragon, gave them rooms at Champlain Inn. I couldn't figure out why the state police were sitting there lurking at McDonald's outside. And sure enough, when I went out to get on the bus, here comes Jim and Corey. What the fuck they doing in Essex? There ain't nothing out there that they don't have right down the street from them at Champlain Inn or Champlain Place or whatever. They can get on the number 6 and go right down to Shaw's to Dollar Tree and right down to Burger King and right down to McDonald's. Wendy's ain't got nothing that special. Unless they went to KFC, and I really don't think it's a coincidence. We already know Jim's a snitch because they gave him an apartment, and then he got raided by the state police and the DEA. They knew he was going to lose it immediately. That was the whole point. They only give apartments to people they know are going to go off the rails, who have no business getting one because they're not clean, they're not sober, they're involved in all kinds of stupid shit, and that way it helps support the false propaganda against homeless in general. And it's really just a small percentage. So anyway, I'm trying to look at this from a military perspective of how Mr. Caton and Weinberger and Goldwater Piper has trained Autumn and Becky and all these other boneheads to use military tactics. And they're not military. They've not sworn an oath to serve we the people or the Constitution. That makes them a threat to national security. That means Dad's team can do anything he wants to with them. If they all die of fentanyl overdoses, so be it. Mr. Caton knew better. And so did they. That's why they acted so shameful and didn't come to me and say, Heather, what makes you think that we work for Epstein's partners in crime? No. They got arrogant. They got mouthy. They threatened me. Ran a sham on the court on behalf of military elite. So I'm going to go back and rewrite it and make sure that I stress those points right off the bat. And I'm going to name gnomes, both gnomes, and I'm going to print up pictures of Byron Gnome. Why was she forced to resign? Because she was a threat to national security because of her sexual misconduct, made her easy to blackmail, which I have no doubt that's probably exactly what Piper was doing. And I'm sure they got a lot of goods on Keg's breath, too. You think he's a drunk? You think he ain't done a whole lot of stupid shit that he don't want nobody to know about? Now, most of these people are enthusiastic Klan and white nationalists. They're enthusiastic Nazis. But here's the thing, they know there's an ongoing criminal investigation. And most people, when they know there's already an investigation, will say, screw that, I'm not going on a suicide mission. And that's where the compromat comes in. Oh, yes, you will, or I'll go public with this. So that kind of puts everybody between a rock and a hard place. You either go along with Epstein's partners in crime, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And since they can see that compromat, but can't actually see all the undercovers out here working for Hochul and the state police and the sheriff's department and Cousy and so on and so forth, of course they're going to go, they're going to respond to whoever can, show them pictures of shit they don't want to come out. So, I don't think that was the case with Mr. Caton or Becky Burl, or they're just rapist pieces of shit that get off on the shit. They've made that real clear by the way they responded. If anybody was forcing them to do it, they would have come to me and said, well, so-and-so made me do it. No, they got off on it. They really thought they were raping and lynching them, a retarded queer in ninja. So I'm going to go heavy on the national security, military abuses angle right off the bat. And then use the same language that they use to describe the gnomes. And I'm going to print up pictures. I'm like, this is who they work for. Byron Gnome and his damn balloon boobs. And they admitted it. They've all admitted it. It's not even a question of do they or don't they. They're just mad because I posted it and reported them and said I was going to file a